Welcome back to May's Casting Couch. Today, it's gonna be a special episode today, guys. Special episode. We're gonna be talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 3 and 4 and the new Miss Marvel series. So, let's get into it. Make sure to go like, subscribe, and if you guys want to listen on your own time, during homework, walking, whenever, you can always listen to this on our Spotify as well. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Since episode 3 was last week, I'm just gonna go brief on what I thought about episode 3. I really loved episode 3. Episode 3 was so fun, and it's what I wanted from this Obi-Wan series. Number 1, let's talk about Vader. Vader is so brutal in this series. I love it. This Vader is not holding back. No breaks whatsoever. They just let him do whatever in the show. They show the brutality of it. This man breaks a kid's neck and is dragging Obi-Wan through the fire. It is so great how we get to see the brutality of Vader and how strong he really is in this series. So yeah, I thought that was really great and brutal as well. I was like, I think this is supposed to be a PG-13 type of show, but people are getting sliced. People are getting their breaks breaking. I don't know if that's a word, but people are getting their necks cracked. Like what's happening? Oh my gosh! Like that's crazy. But I love it, and I just love what they're doing with that episode. I love how they're reminding us that Obi-Wan. This is not the Obi-Wan from episode 1 through 3. This Obi-Wan is a shell of his former self. Yeah, we have to understand that he's not the same Obi-Wan. He's been in exile for so long, and he hasn't even touched his lightsaber for so long. So I love that he's having a little bit of a struggle going back to his old his old combat ways. I'm really liking the struggle he has with just talking to Anakin again, and Ewan McGregor does such a great job conveying all that emotion from when they encounter each other in that sand planet that is definitely not Tatooine. So I really love Ewan McGregor in this episode. He has to convey a lot of emotion, because Obi-Wan's feeling so much shock, fear, and everything. And I think Ewan McGregor does a great job with that. I love that. It has its weird moments too. It has its weird moments, like when they had to shoot the gate, but like they could have definitely like went around it when Leia and Obi-Wan defeat those troopers in the checkpoint. There's this little area they could have just walked around. I thought that was kind of weird, but it's from all of those weird moments, I think the positives really overrule this whole episode, and it's just what I really love about Star Wars. It's just the connections and the drama of it. It's just space opera. It's just a cool, fun space opera, and that's the highlight of Star Wars of episode 1 through 3 is that relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan. We never got to really explore beyond that until now. So yeah, I really like the dialogue too. So great. I love it. I love how gruesome this episode was. So episode 3 is gonna get a 9 out of 10 from me. I love that episode. So yeah. And then there was episode 4. It was okay. I was not super happy about it, but it's not that bad of an episode either. I really like how they went back to exploring the Inquisitor Fortress. I love when they explore that Inquisitor Fortress. Last time we seen the Inquisitor Fortress was in the video game Fallen Order, so I thought that was really cool. I'm really getting tired of Leia getting captured a lot. I think it's too much. I think they gotta stop making Leia get captured so much. I think it's becoming a running trope now to this point. So, yeah, just that I'm kind of, how do I say this? I am kind of tired of that plot point. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of cool concepts were brought up in this episode. I love how there was this fortress, like, there was like this in the fortress. There was a tomb of former Jedi's, just like encased in the bottom of the fortress. I think that's really cool. And I think this is what this show does best, is world building. What's happening during the time between episode 3 and episode 4? We don't have much except maybe like Rebels. This show really, what it does really great is doing that subtle world building and like what's happening during this time of Vader coming up to power, and what Obi-Wan is doing, and what's happening to the remaining Jedis, you know? So I think that's really dope. I think that's really great. I love it. One of the cons I'm really having, I'm afraid we won't get enough of Hayden Christensen that I anticipated for. I would have loved if this show is this revival of Hayden Christensen and his role as Vader, or the Anakin Skywalker character. From all the hate he has gotten in the past for Anakin Skywalker, I really wanted this to be how people started to appreciate Andrew Garfield more in the Spider-Man No Way Home series. People did not like Andrew Garfield. People always said, oh, he's the worst Spider-Man. But now after No Way Home, and with good writing, he was the scene stealer. He was great. And that's what I wanted out of Hayden in this series. But we are 2/3 of the way done with this series, and I'm kind of nervous that we won't get the type of comeback that I anticipated for Hayden. So I'm really hoping we get to see more Hayden. I really think he deserves the comeback. He really deserves it from all the hate he has gotten before. And I really would love if this spins off to a Vader series. I would really love that. So yeah, that's one of my cons. Number 2, I'm afraid Reva is overstaying her welcome. Don't get me wrong, the actress Moses Ingram, she's giving a good performance for what she's given in the script. She's giving a great performance. I like what she's giving to that character, but she's not the force of nature that I would anticipate her to be. I think it's because in Jedi Fallen Order, we get another Inquisitor by the name of Trilla that's in the Jedi Fallen Order video game. And with her character, it's so much better. It's pretty much Reva's character, but a little bit more better. With Trilla, she's a better character because we're giving her backstory in the middle of the story. Trilla's backstory of her having her master abandon her and being tortured for a long time waiting for her master makes you change your perspective on the Jedi Order and how people fall to the dark side. And I thought it was so interesting. And it also helps that she's literally sprinkled through the whole game. Every time you see Trilla in the game, she's just like crazy. She's hard to fight and everything. She's just a force of nature. She doesn't give up. She's going for the character. She's going for the main character. She's not giving up. She has this tenacity to her, which I think that's what makes a great villain in the Star Wars universe. A villain that has tenacity and just a force of nature that, like, no matter what, they want to take down the main character. In this show, how do I say this? She's very... That's what they're missing out for, that force of nature energy to her. She has those times where she has that tenacity, but I wish we got to see more of it. I feel like they're not writing enough stuff for her to be more of that force of nature energy. So yeah, that's one of my gripes with Reva as a character. But I think Moses Ingram, the actress who's playing her, I think she's doing great with what she's given right now. She's doing a really good job with what she's given right now from the script and from the character. So I think she's doing a great job. I just think it's the writing that's really is the problem of Reva as a character. If she's not doing as much as an impact to the story, this should have just been just Vader and Obi-Wan. That should have just been the story. If they're not even gonna have her as an impact as they want her to be. This show is about Obi-Wan and the PTSD he has suffered through episode 1 through 3 and the consequences of his decision. If we are led to believe that Obi-Wan's message was the reason no one came to find Reva, I feel like it's so late to the point where, like, I don't have much to digest that information, and you would have to go back to the series and watch it, when it would have been so great if we already knew from like those first 3 episodes. Let's also talk about some of the new characters. O'Shea Jackson Jr. Wow, it's cool to see. It's really great to see O'Shea Jackson Jr. I haven't seen him since, what was it, that Godzilla movie, and then Straight Outta Compton. Yeah, he from all it's worth, he's a really good actor, and I'm really satisfied with what he was given in this show. But yeah, I was really satisfied with his performance. Maya Eskrin. If you guys don't know Maya Eskrin, there's a show called Pen 15 that is out in Hulu right now, and she is so good in this show. She gives out such great energy, and she's so charismatic in that, and it's so funny, and she's so great. And in this show, she is divulged of any of that charisma whatsoever, and she's just so serious. I feel like they missed out on a great part of what Maya Eskrin is as a actress, is that she is so charismatic to the point where, like, you care about her characters, and I feel like they just didn't really take that as an advantage. They just made her as this person who just talks dull and everything, and I feel like that's such a missed opportunity for what Maya Eskrin has done in the past with her past roles. So yeah, I feel like they kind of wasted Maya Eskrin and the charisma she could have brought, and that's what I loved about the Clone Wars too. Is like all of these, why you care about like these clone troopers and everything, and especially if you watch the Bad Batch series that is on Disney Plus. This is why you really love the clone troopers, is because they all have charisma and they all have their own characteristics, and when they do pass away in their respective episodes, it really hits you because their characteristics like stick with you and you really like their character. So yeah, and I feel like that is what they missed out on in this series with Maya Eskrin. Another card I had was, there's a character called Wade. He dies, and I feel like it had little to no emotional weight. We have one scene with him, and that's pretty much it. I feel like this episode could have maybe more 10 to 5 more minutes, just with the O'Shea Jackson Jr., Maya Eskrin, and Wade's character. I feel like we could have got a little bit more just to like care about them and have Wade's death have more of an emotional impact. Overall, I think this is an okay episode. I think I really loved what it was bringing to it too. Like, I love Leah's interactions with Reva as a character, and I was really happy with what they were doing at some points. Like, Obi-Wan with his lightsaber swinging is so cool. It's so cool. It's so fun. But I feel like the cons overweigh the positives compared to episode 3 of the pros overweighing the cons. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give this episode maybe a 6. I think we could have gone more with maybe like 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes, just exploring more of the characters, exploring more of Obi-Wan in his PTSD state. I feel like, yeah, they missed a lot of stuff, and it's only 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm getting tired of Leia getting captured so many times. I'm really tired of it. But yeah, it's not a bad episode. It's far from a bad episode, definitely. It's definitely far from a bad episode, but I feel like from what episode 3 gave us, episode 4 was kind of just eh. So yeah, that is my thoughts on Obi-Wan, episode 3 and 4.